Hi everyone, author Maria Dismondy coming to you live from vacation. The kids and I are up north, and we brought a bunch of our back to school books to be reading and getting ready for going back to school. Now, typically, I would not even be talking about this because in Michigan, we do not go back until the last week of August. So I don't really want to be talking about back to school yet. We're still really enjoying summer. But I know for a lot of my friends in the South, like Lisa, her daughter's probably going back to school this week or maybe even next week. So as your children start to go back to school, books are going to help them to deal with some different feelings. Books are going to help them to deal with different situations that they're having. Hey guys, I'm going live on Facebook, so just hang on. All right, so let me share with you some of my favorite books that will have to do with feelings and going back to school. So this one is great for August 15th, so soon. This one is great for kindergartners, and this is a friend of mine who wrote it, Katie Davis. So Kindergarten Rocks. Our son is going to kindergarten this year, so we'll be reading a lot of books about kindergarten and things like that. This one is called Bear's Big Day. I typically don't enjoy reading. I like realistic fiction for my children, and that's why the publishing company that I own, Cardinal Rule Press, we have all realistic fiction books, but who doesn't love the sweet bear with the bunny? Bear's Big Day, okay? This one is called My Teacher's My Friend, so this is great for kids going to preschool, especially with that whole separation anxiety from mom and dad. It's getting them to understand that teachers are kind and caring and that you can trust your children, you can trust a teacher. This one is written by another friend of mine, Gabby Garcia, Listening to My Body. This one's a little bit longer, so I would recommend it for a little bit older kids. Beautiful book about paying attention to your body's clues, your body's alarms. So for example, if your heart starts racing, you might be nervous, and what can you do with that nervousness? Or your eyes start watering, you might be upset and you might want to cry. What can you do when that happens? Listening to My Body, which is very similar to my book. I don't see it. One of my kids might have been reading it. Do you guys know where oh, here it is, The Fruit Salad Friend. And it's a very similar situation where the little girl in this story reacts to her body alarms and her body cues with deep breathing. She counts to 10. She hums her favorite song. So being able to teach our kids self-regulation strategies so that when they go to school and they have these emotions at school, what can they do to calm down? That's the biggest gift you can give to your children when they're going back to school, is talking about those strategies. Birdie's First Day of School, another one about emotions and how it feels to leave mom or dad, and dad or dad. How to Be a Friend. This is a great one for children who might be a little bit shy and they're not sure exactly what to do to make new friends. Willow Finds a Way is a beautiful story. Again, this is actually a Canadian author, but it's a beautiful story about a little girl who stands tall for believing that we need to be kind to each other. Similar to another book called Stand Tall, Molly Lou Mellon. Now, I do own these books because I'm a children's book author, and that's just my job, so I have a lot of books. Guys and gals, tuning in, get these from your local library. You can go online, which is always a nice thing. No, you can't take them from this pile because I'm sharing them with people. My kids are reading the books as I'm as I'm talking to you. But go to your local library. I like to go online, and I'll take, like, let's say you're writing down the books that I'm talking about, and I'll have one of my team members, Mandy, put a list in here for you. You can just go online at most libraries, go in their catalog, and you can put a hold on these books, and then the librarians will gather all of the books for you, and you can just go pick them up. So I would start reading now. These are going to be our bedtime stories. These have been our bedtime stories if we've been up north. When the kids wake up early so that they don't wake up their other siblings, they've been reading these books. So you don't want to start talking about it the day school starts. You want to be prepping them. How Do You Hug a Porcupine? This is a beautiful book that talks about how some friends are tricky friends and that they're not as easy to get along with, and how do you deal with tricky friends. Unique Monique, a female character, and Dazzling Travis, and a male character, both stories about being yourself and being confident in who you are. The Potato Chip Champ was written by myself, and it's about empathy, so being able to tolerate and accept others who are different than yourself. Do Unto Otters. This one, we'll make sure that little man over here reads it because it talks about manners, and we want to make sure that we are all having good manners in school and not making like silly noises when we're not supposed to, right, little man?
Yes.
And then A Rainbow of Friends is another great one about friendship. And last but not least, I'm starting to sweat over here. Leo the Late Bloomer is a book for all of you parents to read yourselves. Read this to your kids, but the message is to you. And I'm going to read a couple pages from this book for you. Leo couldn't do anything right. He couldn't read, he couldn't write, he couldn't draw. He was a sloppy eater, and he never said a word. "What's the matter with Leo?" asked Leo's father. "Nothing," said Leo's mother. "Leo is just a late bloomer." Better late than never, thought Leo's father. So this book is to remind you that all children develop differently at their own pace. Their journeys look different from other kids' journeys. So do not volunteer in your kid's classroom and compare your child to other children. Your child is on their own journey, and recognize that and celebrate that, okay? You should volunteer if you want to. That wasn't the point of that comment, but let me read to the end. So it talks about all these things. So then Leo finally found his way. One day, in his own good time, Leo bloomed. This is so cute. My kids are watching. I love it. He couldn't read, or he could read. He could write. He could draw. He ate neatly. He also spoke. And it wasn't just a word, it was a whole sentence. And that sentence was, "I made it." Don't forget, your children are on their own journeys. As they start to prepare to go back to school, start reading some of these books. Comment below if I missed a favorite book of yours for back to school. You notice that I wasn't pulling out books like this, which are great books. Franklin Goes to School. I was more focused on books that have to do with feelings, books that have to do with friendship, and books that have to do with self-regulation. So I'm not necessarily reading all these going to school books to my kids in the month leading up, but I'm reading books about how to be a friend and how to show empathy and how to have manners in school. Hi, Glazel. We're getting ready for those boys to go to school, aren't we? All right, so we are going to sign off now. The kids and I are making s'mores because I don't like to be, I don't like my kids' faces to be on camera, because I don't like staying up late at night with the mosquitoes. So we're making s'mores in the middle of the day. Have a great day, everyone. Woo. You guys.